Hello, this is Bridget with Divine Essentials. Alright guys, I have a reading here, and I'm not sure how long it's going to end up being or where I'm going to end up putting it, but I have it on the one-to-one screen so that, wherever I end up putting it, hopefully it will be able to be seen okay. Because when I do something on Instagram, those videos are different from when I do something onto YouTube, and I try to be mindful of that, but I don't always get that to happen. But I am using my large, extra large tarot here. It's a big deck. And I don't know why. I just like big cards. I don't know. I can't help it. And then I have my deck here that has all the Ascended Masters and like the Ashtar Commander. I don't know the name of the deck, but it looks like this. So I'll try to figure that out. And then I did pull cards from my Soul Whispers Oracle, and I have them here in a pile because obviously these cards are so big, they took up all the room. And I did pull from the past life. I'm not sure if we'll have time to get to those. Just kind of probably depends on how long this happens to be. So basically, we're starting here for, thinking, feeling, and wanting. And then over here we have some energies of like, things that could be impacting the connection or yourself. And then over here, more of like, like this is a thing that could be a problem. And then over here is where are things going? Where are they headed? And yeah. So up here is what your person is thinking. Their headspace. So with the Magician coming out for the first card, I feel like that could be changing or transforming or transmuting whatever they were thinking, or however their mind was set, or whatever type of thoughts that they had at the start of your journey could be at a different place right now. Or they could be thinking about transmutation, thinking about, I want to be the alchemist. You think of the alchemist, they take crap and they turn it into gold. So the person that you're dealing with is like, how can I take this shit situation and make it better? Or how can I take the circumstances between me and this person and fix them, and they also are the one that collects all those tools that are required for transformation. So the Magician is kind of similar to like the Emperor in the state of being like, I have all the tools. I have the wands, I have the cups, I have the pentacles, I have the swords, I have it all. And that's, those things are required to become the emperor or to become the empress. You need to collect all those things. Like a king or a queen, they've only got one element. And like that's where they excel. But the magician or the emperor, they usually are able to embody multiple things. And the magician is kind of like, magical and able to transmute things and transform things. So you could be dealing with somebody that is, magical. Maybe you're a healer and they're a healer. Or you're a light worker, they're a light worker. You're a starseed, they're a starseed. I find that a lot of times the people who are on these journeys, not everybody, but a lot of them, have like a deeper thing going on or a calling to do more. Or they at least have the gifts of something. They're intuitive, or they're, empathic, they're sensitive. And they may not use that to be like their career, or they may not use that on a grand scale, but usually in their intimate circles or their, families or their communities, they probably, just innately do that. Like when you're on the bus and it's like some random stranger comes over and tells you their whole life story, you're like, oh my God, why is this person doing that? It's because you're an empath. And it's like people out there flock to that, and they're like, oh my God, you're a safe place, blah, 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 blah. And then the Magician would transmute that. We can take that on and be like, okay, I'm going to take that and I'm going to transmute that and I'm going to let it go. Because some people wouldn't be able to do that. Some people would be like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Shut the fuck up. Leave me alone. I don't talk to you. I don't know you. I don't care about you. But you have that ability to sit there and listen to it for an hour, even if you don't want to. Even if you don't want to hear what they have to say. Even if you don't care what they have to say. You, oh my God, well look at how good you're doing now, giving them that little support that they need. It's like you're like the kindergarten teacher for the adults. It just happens. And it doesn't matter your sex, you can be man or woman, and it probably happens. And it can happen in different ways. Like maybe you're a guy and all your guy friends seem to like, maybe they're all hard and tough around other guy friends, but when all the other guy friends are gone, they're like, I'm sad, So however it is, usually shows up in people who are on a divine thing. If you're here for divine connection, you probably get some divine stuff going on within you, a channel as the divine. And you can take that and you can explore that and you can grow it and, you know, utilize it to become a better version of yourself, and take base metal, turn it into gold, or, you know, take circumstances that are not good and make them better. But I feel like your person may be awakening to that, or they could be just like really tapping into that at this time and possibly thinking like, how can I start doing this for myself? Like, I seem to be able to help this person and that person. Well, let me help me. Let me change my circumstances up. And with the Fool is about taking that leap of faith and being like, kind of not thinking about it, not worrying about it, just jumping in and letting it lead you wherever it goes. And that's kind of a good way to be, you know. We don't want to be foolish in every sense and just kind of like, blah, blah, here I go. Because then you get hurt, you know, like you fall off a cliff and die. But the flip side is like when people start becoming like, oh my god, am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do it? When am I gonna do it? Do I have enough of that? Am I gonna have enough of this? Is anybody gonna like it? If they don't like me, blah, blah, blah. And they don't do nothing. They never move. They never change. They just stay stuck on a cliff somewhere wondering. And then later on, they're like, I really wish that I had jumped, you know? I really wonder what would have happened if I had freaking done something. So, you know, the Fool is like, I don't even think, I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna do and I'm gonna explore and see what happens. So your person could be at that place, like, and that could be transmuting too. Like maybe in the past they were like, I'm stuck where I am, I'm not leaving where I am because I'm not ready to go. I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't have enough money, I don't have that, or I'm in this circumstance that is sucky, so I have to stay here forever. They could be like, I'm gonna transmute that and I'm gonna jump out of here and I'm just gonna trust that the universe is gonna lead me. So it feels like that type of energy. And like, this dude is, again, just like, here I go, I'm not gonna worry. So your person could be letting go of worries or transmuting their worries, or just coming into a time where they're gonna be more carefree, or more lighthearted about life. And with the Page of Pentacles, that's somebody that has an offer to give that's valuable, it's authentic, it's in their integrity. It's like, I have this and it's very wonderful and it's very beautiful and it's like for you. And it's grounded and it's stable and it's good, you know, it's a solid offer. It's like, let's get married, you know, whatever the person has. It could be like a big job offer or a big, you know, something that you really want. Like, hey, look at this house. It's the perfect house. It has all those things that you wanted. Here you go. I'm going to give it to you. That's what that is. So your person could be transmuting their offer. Maybe the offer that they were giving to you in the past was shitty. Or the offer that they were giving to you in the past was coming along with all those like stipulations or fears or doubts, or they were just stuck. Maybe they had an offer, but they weren't ready to give the offer because they were afraid to jump. So this is like somebody that's transmuting some sort of stuff. And they also have something of value to give. And they have, you know, that carefree, lighthearted spirit inside that can bring them forward to do it without, like, you know, agonizing over it beforehand or never doing it because of the thoughts. Then in the feelings, we had the Ace of Swords come through first. So I feel like this person wants to communicate, wants something to be said, or wants to open up the lines, you know, like, and that could be it too, is maybe they haven't felt like they had something valuable enough to say to you. So they may have just stood on the fence and been like, I don't know what I'm going to say, so I'm just going to stand over here. But they could have transmuted something and been like, aha, I got what I'm going to say, so I'm going to say it. Because this is a brand new way of thinking and a brand new way of speaking. So in their feelings, it's aligning, you know, pretty well to this other energy that's coming through. And then the Death card is transformation. So something's definitely transforming for this person, not only in their mind, but in their feelings, which makes sense because what we think about is what we feel, and what we feel is what we attract. You know, whatever you're rippling out is what's coming to you. So if you're rippling out doubt, and you're rippling out fear, and you're rippling out negative, like, that's what comes to you, is more of that, or you see more of that because that's what you're thinking about and that's what you're feeling and that's what you just perceive. But if you can transmute that, change that up, fix it, you can be like, life is a good thing, life is a better thing, life is getting easier, and I'm gonna bring in goodness. And with the Ace of Wands, it's like, okay, I guess we're gonna start over here because this is a brand new start. The aces are all, you know, new beginnings. So you got the new beginning in the way that the person's thinking, a new beginning in the way that they're speaking, a new beginning that's a transformational thing. It's like the death of the old version of themselves, or the death of the old thoughts, or the death of the old experience, whatever it was. Maybe it was a cycle that kept repeating, or something that was just like put on hold and pause. But with the Ace of Wands, this is a new beginning of passion. This is like your feelings. This is your energy. This is your, it can be your passion of like, I want to get freaking deaky. It can be seen sometimes as like an actual, wing-a-dingy. So they could be feeling passionate. That could be driving them right at this point. You know, I'm seeing like maybe they haven't had any busyness in a while, and that's causing them to transform. Maybe it's like clearing up their head a little bit because they haven't been given something easily. Maybe in the past it was like, yeah, here, passion's easy for you. You don't have to say much. You don't have to give me anything of an offer that's valuable. And I'm just gonna, jump into that and let that be the case. But if you stop doing those things, that can maybe make someone start to realize, oh, wait a minute. If I want to have passion and communication with this person, I have to transmute the approach. I have to bring something of value. I can't just go get what I want and then not give anything back in return. So that could be something that's transmuting in your situation. And the reason why I'm feeling that is just because there's a lot of like that passionate, like bow chicka wow wow energy here. And it just seems like something has changed or something is transforming. Then I asked what they want, and the Nine of Cups is the first one out. So the Nine of Cups is happy. Like, I just want to be happy. And this is, like, what a lot of people want. Sometimes people equate this to, like they think what's going to make them happy is money or, like, a bag or, getting fucking sex or whatever. Like, they can just equate happiness to the wrong things and then never be able to acquire it no matter what they get. You'd be like, money, when I have this, I'm gonna be happy. Life gets easier with money. It's a lot nicer to be like, oh yeah, like, I can suffer and struggle emotionally and mentally, but not worry about like being like kicked out of my house in a week. That's about all it does, is it gives you a little bit of security. So it's like, I can breathe a little bit, but it doesn't make you happy. If you're not happy, nothing's going to make you happy except for becoming happy from within. Finding a person isn't going to make you happy if you're not happy. If you're not happy on your own, being with somebody else, ain't going to make you happy either. It may distract you for a few minutes, and over time you're going to be like, well, I'm still unhappy. I'm still not good. Something still needs to heal. So just keep that in mind, because I feel like this person wants to be happy, but it doesn't feel like they're unhappy right now, because I feel like this is somebody that's carefree and happy. This is somebody that's got like that, like, I'm transmuting all the shit into goodness. So they could be happy, and they may want somebody else that's going to be happy beside them. Like, I just want to be happy, and I want to make you happy, and I want to be happy, and I want happiness in my life. And with the Four of Swords, this is healing. So whatever's been unhealed, or whatever's been kind of like, this isn't good, this isn't healthy, this is a bad thing, I feel like that stuff wants to be released and let go of. This person definitely wants to be in their power. They want to be somebody that's got their shit together. They want all those things that come together to make them a person of power, a person of, strength, a person of having that magical touch, the person that doesn't have to really worry about too much, or isn't, causing any blockages in their life. It looks like somebody's really healing and like fulfilling themselves, getting rid of the bullshit in their world that was causing issues. And with the Four of Swords, this is, putting like on ice or going within and meditating. And that's where we do a lot of healing, is by going within and kind of separating ourselves from the outside world, separating ourselves from the influences of others that maybe don't have our best interest at hand. And I feel like that may be something that's happening here, is maybe your person's on their own like little self-exploration here, and they're figuring out how to make themselves happy and how to transform the current circumstances that have been keeping them from having, that power, that strength, and that ability to go forward and be like, I am the shit. I got my shit together. I feel good. I'm stable. I have something of value to give. Like, I've got confidence in myself. I've got like the power in myself. I believe in who I am and what I have to bring to the table. And the King of Pentacles is that grounded, stable, loyal, strong, like fatherly, like energy. He's like, I'm here for the long haul, and I'm going to be here, and I'm going to provide, and I'm going to protect, and I'm going to do all the good things that need to be done by the man. Just like a very solid, stable dude. He's got his shit together. He may have a good job. He may have a nice home. He may have like a just like a sense about him. Like you just know that like you'd be okay with him around. Like he's not gonna let anybody hurt you. He's not gonna let anybody mess with you. If anything, he's like the closest to this energy of like the emperor. Just stable, got it together in the material world, got it together in their value and worth on themselves. And usually that, having that together, when you have value and worth on yourself, when you know that you bring to the table is something that is worthy of respect, and that what you do is good and like strong and capable, and you just keep having that consistency and that ability to show up and not be like a dipshit and not take off and not do stupid stuff, or say one thing and do another. Like, it's just somebody with integrity, basically. But like when you have that and you know that and you're good in that and you're solid in that and you're not like giving away your integrity and you're not doing things out of alignment with your authenticity, usually it exudes out and it just attracts all the things that you could ever want to you, because it's just like it goes hand in hand. It's like when you're valuable within and valuable with your actions and your voice and everything that you have, the universe is like, here, we're going to give you more value because you deserve it and you are emanating it and you are exuding it, so you are it and you just embody it and become it. Then over here we had energies with the strength and the devil that came out. So I feel like there may be strength needed to overcome some devilly, toxic-y, crappy things, okay? So people may be wanting this, like your person could be thinking like, I need to transmute and get to that valuable offer. This is the dude that I would like to become. Maybe they don't feel like they're all the way there yet. I feel like for some of you, got somebody that is there, okay? For others of you, there could be somebody that just thinks that like that's what's going to make them happy, is to be that. Like, I just want to get my shit together. I don't want to be bothered with this stuff anymore that causes me issues. So, whatever that is, it could be an addiction, it could be a karmic marriage, it could be a belief system, it could be a family member or like the family, it could be like how society made them feel about themselves growing up, it could be where they live, it could be age differences, whatever. It could be something stupid or something big, but no matter what it is, it's something that's like chained to this person. So it's probably karmic in nature. It could have started in another lifetime, or it could have, started in this lifetime, or it could be something that is just between the two of you, or it could be something that is between them and another person that they need to clear before they can come to you. Whatever it is, it's something that is going to require the strength to get out of it. And I feel like this person has this strength. Like, they have that infinite thing. You see these little 8s above their head. It's like they have what they need. And I feel like the portal that we just had, the Lionsgate energy, awoken something in that person to see this, okay, or to understand what this is. Or maybe they've just gotten like wind of something or realized something like, oh my god, like this is my problem, or this is the thing that's been causing me issues, or I've got to get out of this belief system, or I got to let go of that person, or I got to let go of that friend, or I got to change that job, or I got to do this or do that, or whatever it is that's been the problem. They may be finding the strength, the clarity, the illumination to be like, oh, once I get rid of all of that, I can step into my power. I can become the embodiment of what I want that's going to make me happy and probably bring happiness to someone else. So I definitely feel like strength is required here for some of you. And that could be on your side too. Like, you could be having like a realization of, if I want to tap into my infinite strength and power, if I want to change things, transmute things, and make my wishes come true, then I need to do XYZ, or I need to release whatever this is, whatever these things are that have been an issue. It's time for me to like really illuminate and rise into the light. So with the star, you could be Starseeds, or you could just be people that like get a lot of attention, or you could be somebody that's starting to get a lot of attention, or they could be somebody that's in like the light of a lot of people, and that can be big, little, huge, it doesn't matter. But it's like, this is usually somebody that catches the eyes of others, or also can just mean like, this is something that is like, we've put it up on a pedestal and we've put it out of reach. And that's either because of false limiting beliefs, or because of karmically toxic people in our lives, or because of karmically toxic behaviors that we, continue to take our time and giving our time to. Whatever we're doing, that's like, oh, this isn't good for me, but I'll keep doing it until I die. Whatever that is that could be keeping us from having our wishes come true needs to go. And some people could be figuring that out and gathering that strength that is needed to do it. And I feel like the Lionsgate energies, that infinite 8-8 type of stuff, is empowering people to do it. So you could be coming to a time right now where the end of the cycle is here. Because the world is like, oh, okay, we did it. We're like, we've been doing this thing for a while. And now that chapter is over. Because the world is the final card with the major arcana. Okay, so it's like we start with the Fool, we take that leap, and then we get to the world, and that's a completion. It's the Ouroboros. It's that serpent eating its own tail. It's a regeneration. It's a transformation. It's a death process. It's the rebirth cycle. So whatever thing has been playing out, whether it's been karmic and toxic or good and divine, there's probably been a duality within it, because we're in a planet of duality, so there's always some duality bullshit happening, playing out somewhere along the way. So this is us figuring out, I gotta get rid of this thing so that I can move forward and go to my next cycle where I'm gonna have my dreams come true, my wishes fulfilled, my life feeling good, and I'm defeating the darkness. I'm defeating that devil, getting out of there. And I feel like somebody may have a romantic gesture or offer to give that is gonna lead to the Four of Wands, okay? So it's a matter of clearing this up, whatever this thing is. So like if your person's married or in a karmic marriage, or they've got karmic behaviors, or you have something on your side, or you're married, or you have some behavior, or something is going on within your situation that's keeping you from having justice and balance, because this is like, oh, karma is cleared, and whatever is supposed to be like fair and just and balanced is going to be. All right, this is the final blow here, because this was the overall bottom of the deck. I said, what am I putting on the bottom of the deck? Split the deck and got that. So the Justice card is like, boom, this is what it is. This is how it's gonna be. This is the final thing. This is what you deserve. What did you do? What didn't you do? How did you show up? How didn't you show up? What are you doing to transmute that? What are you doing to change that? How are you showing up now? Because you can be a shithead and then change and make things right. That's what justice is all about. You gotta make things right. You can't just continue to be a shithead forever. You can't juggle around forever, and you gotta come into your integrity, truth, communicate it, and express it to people without holding back, and show the world, not just like I'm just gonna think about it, or I'm not, whatever. It's just coming into it, being that man of truth, integrity, authenticity, speaking it, emanating it, becoming it, body it, all of it, whether you're a man or woman. But I feel like that's basically like saying, like, whatever's supposed to be a result of things that have happened, whoever's done whatever they've done, you're gonna get what you meant to get, and if you're somebody that can make it right and apologize or release yourself from the karmic, if they're married, it's like, all right, I'm getting the divorce. If you're in a toxic behavior system of like, I'm gonna do this and I don't care if it hurts other people, you stop doing that and apologize. It's like, okay, whatever, it could be big or little or whatever, but justice will be served. Authenticity, communicating to others from our truth, will be heard. I feel for a lot of people. And for some of you, that may even just be that, like, they were lying to you by pretending like they didn't care, or they were, like, putting up a false version of themselves, or they were behind illusions of, like, I don't like you, or I don't want to talk to you, but at the same time, like, coming or going and, like, leading you to believe that maybe they do like you. Oh, but no, they don't like you, but maybe they do, but they don't. Like, that might just all clear up. To be like, okay, justice says you communicate from your truth and you express the romantic gesture that you have, so that you can break that karmic cycle of like being weird, because you're still bound to each other, even if you can pretend like you don't like them, but you do. It's like, if you do, you do. You can pretend you don't, but you still do. You're still gonna be bound there. You're still gonna be thinking about it, feeling it, like, Urgh. So I feel like whatever it makes sense for you within your situation, it'll be cleared up. Balance will be restored at some point, and it may come as a result of this person giving this gesture or this romantic offer, or finally expressing their romantic feelings to you. Like, I actually like you, and I would like to spend some time together with you in a stable situation. With this Four of Wands, it's a stable, solid, grounded offer. You know, it's like, we are getting married. So it's like, I've got my offer, and here we go with the offer. Like, that's kind of the progression within the tarot. That may not be, like, necessarily exactly what you guys are going to do or how it's going to play out or anything like that. It's just more so, like, the energy is there. So you want to interpret that to be like, oh, they're actually going to say sorry, or they're actually going to, like, show up for once, or they're actually going to say something that means what they mean. You know, they're going to say what they mean and mean what they say, and not leave me wondering, like, what the hell was that? And with the Knight of Swords, this is, again, somebody rushing in to deliver truth. So I feel like your person will rush in to communicate some sort of truth at some point, and that may be because they feel like you know, like, they could be starting to see you take a leap of faith into a new direction away from them, or they could see you receiving a romantic offer from somebody else, like, oh no, she's gonna go get married, or oh no, he's gonna go over there with that person, or oh my god, so I better rush in and fix that, because deep down inside, even though I've been hiding it or lying about it, manipulating or pretending like it's no big deal, I don't like you, I don't care what you do, I don't care where you are or who you talk to, actually I do, so here I come to tell you, I don't do that, I like you, you know, so feels like that type of stuff is there for people depending upon what has been playing out for you. And then up here, this is another cycle or another version of things. Okay, so like, this could be playing out in your your circumstances with this as well, but there's definitely some illusion, confusion, like, I'm not seeing things clearly. And that doesn't necessarily have to be that you are just like a mess and that you can't see things clearly. It could be because of the way that the person behaves or acts or like leads you to believe things. Like if somebody comes in and they're like, hey baby, what's up? Let's get busy. Oh yeah, I'd like to spend some time with you. And then they just disappear. Obviously that's going to lead you wondering, like, what the fuck was that? You know, like, do you like me or not? Why are you using me? Are you married? Are you this? Like, it brings up a lot of insecurities, brings up a lot of just doubts and fears, and I'm uglies and all these. It must have been this, it must have been that, I must have said the wrong thing. It just leaves you in a place of beating yourself up, thinking that it was you that was the problem because of the way that they behaved, because they didn't communicate the truth, or they didn't communicate anything at all. If people would just, you know, be in their truth and integrity and say, I'm going to go disappear for 3 weeks now, that would make things easier, you know? But nobody usually does that anymore. We live in a society now where there seems to be a lot of this happening, where it's like people don't communicate anything and they don't worry about what other people are thinking about. They don't care. They don't give any time, attention to that. They're more so worried about their own stuff and their insecurities and their bullshit and their illusions. So I feel like this may be a thing. Like, you may have these illusions and things, you may not be seeing things clearly, but it's not necessarily because you're just a crazy lunatic and you don't see things that way. I think it's more so that somebody was putting up a false version of themselves, which seems to be the case in a lot of things, and that could make you put up a false version of yourself. So now you may have your guard up with this person, and you may be feeling conflicted with this person because you don't know what the fuck they want or what they're doing, or if they come, are they going to stay or are they going to go? Are they going to go back to their person that they're with, or is there a person that they are with and that's why they don't stay? Or, you know, like, it depends on how well you know them. I've had people, and this is like what I mean, like, I've had people come to me, get readings, and it's because they've watched a reading, and in the reading it resonated, but in the reading they also said that your person could have like a wife or, you know, a karmic marriage. And because the reader said that, they start thinking that their person is married. They're like, oh my god, I bet you he's married. But they'd had no reason to think that before. They had no reason to be influenced to believe that before. And they probably aren't married. But because everything else in the reading resonated, they're like, oh, they go to that place of fear and that, like, illusion, and they don't see things clearly. Even when they probably know in their heart of heart, like, they may have been to the person's house. Like, there's no indication of a wife here, but I still think that you could be hiding her somewhere. You know, like, that's the type of illusions and stuff that people can have be brought on by influencing their thoughts or influencing their beliefs, or by dealing with somebody that's not being truthful or in their integrity. When somebody shows up and disappears with no explanation, you start coming up with all those, like, you fill the blank. You're like, what is the blank? Let me fill it in. And you try to look for, like, the most reasonable explanation as to what it is. And a lot of us don't want to ever be like, oh, well, it must just, like, be horrible me. You know, we don't want to put it on ourselves, but we do. And then we don't, and then we do, and then we don't, and then we do. And so it's like, it's just a toxic, karmic-y unhealthy way of thinking, way of being, way of feeling. And it could even be a karmic toxic person that you're supposed to clear away, if that's the thing. Like, if it never gets better, if they're constantly putting you into that place of feeling conflicted, of feeling pain, of feeling like, what the fuck is going on, then yeah, you might want to be like, you know what, I'm not going to deal with that anymore, because that's obviously not healthy and that's not getting any better. And if they don't come around and speak up and bring justice and balance and communicate their truth and integrity authentically with you, then you would have to say goodbye, because you're never going to get anything good playing out that cycle over and over and over. So always keep that in your core. Don't be afraid to dismiss people. Don't be afraid to tell people to get the hell out of your life if they don't deserve a space there. Go through the death process, rise up out of the ashes, and go find somebody who deserves to have that space beside you. Because this is not good or healthy or happy. Nobody's going to be happy like this. You want an emperor. You want a man that's like consistent and able to be good and show up. You know, we can forgive people for having their issues. We can forgive people for being hurt themselves. We can forgive people for all types of things, and you should forgive people. But that doesn't mean that you forgive and forget and like go tra-la-la back into the toxic. You forgive, and you can go back to a person and deal with them again if they're normal, if they're showing up healthy and, you know, communicating things and not playing games. But if they continue to play the game and they continue to keep you in the dark, that's when you say, I'm out of here, because I don't want this in my life anymore. I deserve better. But with the Queen of Swords, I feel like for some of you, because of maybe you've been through this with other people, or you've just been through this in general in your life, like maybe you had toxic parents, or you had seen toxic experiences, or just toxic boyfriend after toxic boyfriend. And when we do that, we tend to go to what's familiar rather than what's good for us. So you may just consistently, connect and attract toxic situations that are not healthy, and you may not have anything to compare it to, so you're like, oh, this is just how life is. But that's something that you need to like not do anymore. So for some of you, you might need this. You might need to be the Queen of Swords and cut this out of your life. But others of you, because of all of that, because of the illusions, because of the toxic, because of the people who have hurt you and lied to you, manipulated you, who have, drug you through the dirt and just broke your heart over and over and over and over, you may have this guard up. You may be blocking yourself from your happy ever after because of the conflict other people have caused within you and within your emotions and with your ability to perceive or trust or open your heart. You can be so jaded at this point that you're like, I'm not going to let anybody near me. I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm going to block myself from the good people too, because you may not know where to trust or how to give your heart. You may just feel scared. You may be afraid that everybody out there's just out there to get you, or that somebody's gonna like just break your heart, or that there isn't good people in this world, or you just aren't cut out for it. You're not meant for that. Everybody gets weird. Everybody has their stuff. But I do feel that for some of you, there could be an opportunity with a really nice, emperor, King of Pentacles, somebody that's going to bring justice to your life for all of the wrongs that you've been through, all the dipshits that you had to hurt yourself and be a part of. You may have somebody out there, like that cycle could end, your wishes could come true, the romantic offer that you've been waiting for, that's going to be, my committed, stable, loving thing. You could be blocking it because you're like afraid of it, or because you're just not even seeing it because of all the other shit around, or because you're engaged into something that's not good for you. If you've given all your focus and all your time and all your energy and attention to toxic, no good, low vibe, illusionary, limited belief making type of experiences, when the romantic person that out there is like, I want to give you real love, I'm trying to communicate my heart to you, I'm trying to be that person that's going to be that strength and that rock and that love and all the thing that's going to transmute all this bullshit for you, you're like, burp, 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 over here, not seeing it because I'm too busy with this, chained over here with this toxic low vibe and, nasty thingy that's just going to hurt me and, break me down more. So I do feel that, like, for some of you, you may have a decision to make in regards to love. For some of you, it's a decision to stop being influenced by the past and to forgive and to allow, like, the truth to be spoken and, like, maybe to heal a toxic karmic cycle with a person that, has hurt you in the past but isn't going to hurt you in the future. But you will know, like, by their approach, are they communicating, are they bringing value, or is it a repeated cycle of,
them coming and going, or them causing some smoke and mirrors, or them not being able to be authentic, whatever it is, you're going to feel it, you're going to know it, so you need to make that choice. Am I going to engage in it, or am I going to tell them no? And then on the other side of that could be the fact of, like, if you've been dealing with toxic, no good, karmic, crappy people, you might need to, like, clear the air, or, like, see clearly and, like, let down your guard a little bit so that somebody else can come in. You know, or you might need to just, like, stop dealing with a particular person that's causing all this conflict so that other people can show up. Because we're, like, we block ourselves. So many people just want love, and they want to be, like, supported by somebody. But if you're dealing with somebody, like, even if it's just part-time, and you're not really, like, seeing them often, and you think you have your doors open to other people or other offers, those other offers aren't going to show up because they can feel somebody else has got their energy on you, or you've got your focus connected to something else. Like, you've got energy cords, like, all willy-nilly and mixed up with whatever it is. Like, men almost have, like, a radar. It's like when you have a focus on other dude, like, they know. They can feel it, they sense it, they're like, whatever, I'm not going to bother there because she's busy, you know? But once you stop focusing on a dude, it's like woodwork's open, and they're like, hey, they start freaking, like, flagging you down in your car and shit. They want to get to you. They're like, she's a girl, let me get the girl. The girl's free. I can tell she's free and single. It's like they can smell it. Something about them. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that, or you guys may be too focused on a particular person to notice that right now, but try to pull your focus off of the person. Try to put the focus back onto yourself. Try to put your guard down. Don't block everybody just because of somebody, you know, in any way or any sense. Like, you could be blocking everybody just because of somebody that you like that isn't showing up, and that may be, like, detrimental because that person may not be showing up because they're not supposed to. They're not meant to. They're never going to. But the longer you are, like, zero focused on them, the longer it's going to take before you get to the dude that's supposed to be there. So try not to ever just be super focused on something too much to the point where it's like, oh, God, like, nobody else is getting in there. No, like, you just spend 50 years by yourself because you're, like, tied to something toxic or not good. Because, like, spirit will protect you. They'll keep you from the things, like, they'll try. They're not always successful. Sometimes you've got to have those, you know, toxic experiences to clear karma, to go to the next level. But they do try to protect people when they don't have a reason to go into those too. So, you know, if, like, weird shit's happening that's, like, keeping you from somebody and it's not them particularly doing it, that may be a clear indication from the universe that, like, you know, you're trying to avoid a big problem. But I definitely feel like there's a choice to be made here. And again, you know, if you had a difficult past with somebody and you're hurt by them, don't let that hurt keep you from moving forward with them just because of it. You know, like, if you're still in love with them but you're hurt by them, like, you're going to have to let your guard down to figure out what's going to happen, because you can't just, like, never, like, something's going to happen basically. And I feel like once clarity's had, once something's illuminated, once you know the truth, you're going to get your 10 of Cups. And whatever that truth is. It could be the truth that, okay, this person hurt me before, they lied to me before, they manipulated me before, but the truth of the matter was that they were hurt themselves, or they were in a circumstances that they couldn't give to me, or they had their own issues, whatever the fuck it is. But when they come communicate that truth to you, when they illuminate whatever the problem was, and they bring justice to the service, to the situation, and that romantic offer, and the authentic, vulnerable truth that needs to be expressed, you may be able to have your 10 of Cups with that person, to have that union with that person, to have your wishes come true, and they show up for you authentically, fully, all together, as the Emperor. You know what I mean? Like, that could happen. But you've got to let them, you got to let that happen. Like, if you've got this up too high, they're probably going to stay away from you because they're going to be afraid to approach you because they can sense that you're like, fuck you. You know, so some people will just be like, I'm just going to wait till that, you know, knife is down a little bit. I'm going to wait until they have had time to calm down. I'm going to wait until, you know, it feels like I'm not going to have my head cut off. But others of you, it could be that you're going to have some sort of other clarity or illumination to realize, like, oh, I've been barking up the wrong tree. Like, because look, the lovers and the devil are the same thing, okay? There's ones that are chained together with all this shit, but over here they're free. Like, this is how it's supposed to be. If you feel, like, chained and stuck, or you feel like you can't do things, or that like it's just not healthy, it's not good, it's not changing, it's constantly the same thing, like getting worse and worse, or you're not evolving, you're not getting better, they're not evolving, they're not getting better, like they're just the same piece of shit over and over and over and over and over for 100 years, like that's I don't think we should be dealing with that. But if you've had somebody that, like, for the most part, you feel free to express who you are and be who you are, and that they're going to accept that about you no matter what, and if you feel like you've been able to grow as a result of your connection to them, like, you know, like, whether you're with them or not with them, like, you still have this sense of growth, or you still have this sense of something's changing all the time. Or, like, you can see them changing, like, you can see their growth, you can see their evolution. And sometimes, like, maybe they go through something that was hard and toxic and bad, and they get hurt, and they, you know, dwindle down a little bit, and maybe they're not in their best energy for a little while, but if eventually they heal and grow and come out of that into their light, into their place of, like, illumination, you know, coming out of stagnation, coming out of the place that maybe have been causing other people heart, or causing other illusions, causing distractions and bullshit, you know, give them the time and the space and options, or like that freedom to be able to have that, because, like, nobody's gonna be perfect every day, all day, forever. If somebody goes through something difficult, they're gonna suffer, they're gonna struggle, but at the end of it, they should come out of it better, or stronger, or more empathic, or more aware, or more awake, or more something that made them, like, rise out of the ashes, you know? It's like we have a choice. Everybody has a choice. We can go through something and suffer and struggle and get worse and become a shithead and hurt everybody in our path forever, or we can go through something, go through that weird cycle of, like, I'm a little fucked up right now because of what I went through, but I'm gonna get my shit together, and then I'm gonna come out and act right. Then that's usually the better choice. But you have to figure out who you're dealing with. Like, am I dealing with the person that is going to stay like that forever, or am I dealing with the person that's going to be, like, ready to embrace the truth, the divinity, like their good whole self, that they can come out of there and they can be a better version of themselves and make wishes come true, to find the strength and to deliver, you know, that emotional support, and end the cycle that was keeping them from being the emperor, who then has all of this beautiful stuff with their empress. So I asked, where is this all headed? All right, and because we have the justice as the overall energy in this, I feel like this is like the third time in a couple of days that the Hierophant has come out when I've asked that specific question, where is it going? Hierophant is commitment, stability, and spirituality. It's like this is a spiritual commitment. This is a higher level thing. So it's not going to be easy. You know, it's not going to be like cut and dry. It's not going to be all light all the time. There's going to be duality. There's going to be darkness. There's going to be good days and bad days. There's going to be stuff on the path that causes confusion. There's going to be stuff in times that, like, hurt. There's going to be stuff in times that test you to be a better version of you. And it's going to be times that it tests them to be a better them. But you've got to be able to tap into your heart and your soul and know the difference of what you're dealing with. But either way, if you're dealing with something toxic and no good for you, when you figure that out and you get that illumination, you realize that, you're going to excel. You're going to be like, here I go to my 10 of Pentacles as the Empress beside my Emperor, and that's my turn of fate in my destiny. But for a lot of you, it's you're reconciling with your dude that you're meant to be with, okay? So, some of you have a spiritual commitment that you're meant to have, like, play out. Turn of events will play here at some point where the two of you can come together and have that stable, solid, like, we get everything, we got it all. Because when twins or soulmates, like, divine people come together, they usually fucking just go, like, crazy. Like, it's just, like, everything just comes easily. It's like, oh, all that suffering, all that struggling, all that bad shit you went through, we're going to bless you now. And here's all your abundance. Here's all the love and the happy and support and all the good things that you've been trying to get to. Here it is. Everything you've ever wanted. So you get your 10 of Pentacles, your 10 of Cups, your emotional fulfillment, your financial fulfillment, your security, your stability, your happiness, all of those things delivered to you because you went through the fucking journey. You figured it out. You let it go. You released. You healed. You ascended. You saw clearly, you know, and you were, like, committed to your stability within yourself, committed to your awakening journey, committed to your healing and your growth and all of those things. Like, some people don't do that shit. Some people are like, I'm just going to become an asshole because I got hurt, or I'm going to become an asshole because it's easier than, putting effort in, or I'm going to sit here and wait for somebody else to fix it for me, or I'm going to sit here and just wait instead of doing like any work towards, the improvements of myself and of my life and of where I'm going. It's like we all have a thing to do. So I think sometimes the divine feminines, they blame the masculine for everything. They're like, oh, he's a piece of shit, he came and go, he ghosted me, he hurt me, brr. Well, yeah, he probably did, but you can't sit on your ass and do nothing and expect things to change, because they're your mirror. And if they came and they hurt you and they ghosted you and they did all of those things, where have you been hiding? Like, where have you been not showing your authentic self? Where have you been a little bit of an asshole? Like, think of that. Like, just try to be honest with yourself. Where have I been doing, like, something that looks like what they're doing? And over time, you will figure it out. You may not be able to see it very clearly, or it may be, like, all shrouded behind some stuff in the beginning. You may just be victim, and you can play that role as long as you want. But if they're your true person, you want to call them your twin flame, and they're doing shit that hurts you or upsets you or causes some issues, you probably got some shit to look at in the mirror. You probably are doing something similar to what they're doing, but you're not realizing it. Like, where am I being a little bit of a, like, weirdo? Like, where am I not doing my best self? Where am I giving my power away? Or where am I allowing other people to kind of control things? Or where am I, whatever the circumstances are. Like, if they're in a karmic marriage and they're not happy, well, where are you showing up that you're not happy? Like, what relationships do you have in your world that you're not really content within, but you don't say anything about it, you just keep doing it? Like, that could be a thing. Or maybe it's to do with, like, your mission and your purpose. Like, are you stepping into alignment with your purpose? Are you stepping into alignment with your, like, I'm in integrity, and I'm actually coming from a place of, like, I'm in service to others, and I'm actually doing something to help the collective, and I'm doing something with my time and my energy, other than sitting around thinking about, myself and my situation and boo-hoo, sad over there, or thinking about what they did and what they're going to do and when they're going to do it. Like, that stuff doesn't do anything except for keep you in that place of sitting there looking and thinking and wondering. You've got to at some point be like, all right, I don't care what they're doing, I don't care where they're going or who they're with or where, when, whatever happens. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go start actively pursuing my life and being somebody that can say that they're the empress regardless of the emperor, regardless of what's going around. I'm gonna get my shit together and go build my own things up, and I'm gonna be committed to my soul evolution and growth, and I do the work. I'm gonna go deep within myself. And it was funny because right here with these cards, it was like, I miss you, do the work, and then union will come. It's like, if you do the work, union will come. But there's work to be done. You can't just get union just because you want it, or because you sat around for a while waiting. And if you just got on the journey, it's probably not coming like that quickly. It is, and I don't want to say that like to be like it has to be this long drawn out horrible thing. It doesn't have to be. It can be quickly, but it's a matter of like how quickly you go through what you need to go through and figure out what you need to figure out. So they do miss you. They think about you nonstop, and they say, I'll see you soon. They want you to do the work. They say union will come, and you're the reason I don't give up. I've been careless with your heart, and I'm afraid I'm going to lose you to someone. So it's like they know, like, I've hurt you, and I'm afraid I'm going to lose you to someone else because of that. So they have their shit too, like they've got their own insecurities. And they say, I've checked on you, and I've looked up twin flames. So some of these people know what a twin flame is. They know what you are to them. And then we get soon, and then you make me feel alive inside. So it's like you make this person feel good. You make them feel that transformation energy. And I feel like soon they will come to communicate that to you. But you might need to do some work right now. Or you might need to do like the final stages of that work. Or you might just simply need to put your guard down, okay? Because if you got hurt and you're living in illusion land, you could just expect that they're going to come back and do that again. They may not. You can't get to the next part without letting them in. It's like you're gonna have to let them in to find out. That doesn't mean you let them in and hurt you again. That just means you figure it out. Like you can tell by the actions. Are they fucking speaking their truth and being in integrity and like saying and showing valuable offer? then yeah, you let them communicate their truth and you like see where that goes. But you don't just do whatever you've been doing. Like you don't just jump back into the same old cycles of like, oh yeah, it's like 3 a.m. booty call, okay, here we go. Like that would be stupid. That would be common sense of like, no, that's not valuable. That's not good. That's not healthy. But if there's something good and healthy showing up, you gotta let it in. And you may just need to open your energy up for the good, healthy thing to show up, because you could be like, so guarded or so fearful or so, like, hurt by whatever's happened that it could be causing a blockage. And you're not seeing, like, on the other side of that cloud is good stuff. It's like that commitment, that stability, all the things you've wanted. And we have Krishna here with the devotion. It says, trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized and you are loved unconditionally. So, with this one, when I saw that, I felt like some of these divine masculines out there, if you're the divine feminine here, they may be recognizing that you actually fucking love them. Like, they could be realizing, like, oh my god, like, this person actually does care. They actually like me, like, on a deeper level than whatever. Like, they're not trying to get me for this, or they're not trying to use me for that. They're not gonna, like, ever not love me. They're actually gonna be able to care on the level of unconditional love. And because of that, or because they're able to finally see it, or realize it, or accept it, they could be, like, now loving you unconditionally and being like, oh my god, thank you. You know, like, sometimes it's just a matter of seeing that, or believing it, because everybody's been wounded, everybody's been hurt. If you've been in bad relationships, or you've just been in a world of shit, and every person you've ever met has either ended up being somebody that's had their heart broken, or been cheated on, or lied to, or you've done that to other people, it can put you to a place of like, I expect everybody on this planet to just be a shithead, and that eventually everything's always going to go bad, or everybody's always going to hurt me. Like it leaves you jaded. It makes it hard for you to like believe in love. You know, like you see those couples that have been together for like ever, and you know they're never going to separate. They're still in love with each other. They still, you know, goofy at 95 years old. They can barely see, but they're like, hee hee hee. You know, they love each other. There's true unconditional love. Sometimes people forget that exists because of the shit that we have here. It's harder to find now. It's harder to believe in now, because everybody here has instant gratification and microwaves that beep every 3 seconds, and fucking here's an app that gives you access to 9 billion women that want to have sex with you right now. Like, it's just too much shit on the planet that causes us to like get far away from good, valuable stuff. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, or that you can't love somebody unconditionally, because I know a majority of the feminines I have dealt with, connected to, worked with, do love that person on that level, that they're going to love that person till the day they die. The guy may never know it, may never see it, may never value it or accept it or respect it, but that woman will love them till the day she dies. So I know it is real, but it's a matter of them being able to realize and open up to it and mirror it back. But I feel like somebody can see that. They see the devotion that you have, and they now are ready to be like, here, I give it back to you. And then we had Lady Nada. So she actually is the twin flame of the King of Swords. That's what I've read in some freaking like crazy scripture stuff that I was guided to randomly someday on not too long ago. I was dealing with the pink rose, and I was having all this like synchronicity with the pink rose for like a week. If you go to Etsy, almost all of my photos are including a pink rose, like of my product items, like my roll-ons and stuff. That's like my roll-on is sitting on top of a pink rose. And then if you go to my website, there's 2 pink roses on the front page. Like I spent a night doing over some stuff on my website, and that was like, I'm gonna do the pink rose. But it was constant. It was like a lot of stuff was happening with that. And then I was on Facebook one night, and there was people talking to each other, and I just got guided to like click on the thing that the guy shared. They were talking about Jesus and like some other stuff. And it was weird. And I was like, what are they doing? And I was like, click. It was because I'm added to all these freaking groups, like spiritual this, spiritual that, blah, blah, blah. Awakening, like crazy amount of groups. I never even get to see much other than groups and ads. But she was in there. And it was like this whole huge, long, like Bible-length book on a page. and they were talking about all different spiritual things, and Jesus this, and Kuan Yin, and Mary, and blah, 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 blah. And when I found her, they're talking about her and her twin flame King of Swords. But this group had nothing to do with twin flames. The people in the thing talking to each other had nothing to do with twin flames. And the whole freaking book thingy was not even really talking about. I looked on it. It was like search, because when I found this, I was like search in this thing. You know how you can search a page for info, to see how many times that word has been put into that page. I put in twin flame, and it was like it was written in there like 3 times, and it was a huge thing. They just kept going and going and going. So I know it wasn't like it was like that was a major thing in there, but that was what was in there. So basically, it's like there's like this bigger thing going on outside of us. But I feel like there is a thing here, again, where it says awaken to accept that divine love. Give and receive in balance. Like I said, if you're not open right now because you've been hurt, or you were like, caused this in your life a little too much. Somebody had the smoke and mirrors up. Like, you thought you were going to get some goodness from them, but they gave you some shit. Well, yeah, that happens. And I feel like it's kind of funny because it's like here he is. He may have been cold to you. He may have been a little bit like whatever. He may have been a little bit like guarded. He may have had some weirdness happen, right? King of Swords isn't the one that's all like gushy and romantic and I love you so much. He's in his head. He's a logical, cold person. He's like, Arr. And unfortunately, when people do that to people, it makes other people like that. And I feel like you may now be in this energy because you had to deal with like that type of energy from somebody. But now you may need to figure out how to open your heart and how to receive from them in balance. Because you don't want to go back to the old cycles of like, I'm going to love you to my own demise, or I'm going to give to you to my own demise, or I'm just going to let you come and go whenever you want. I'm going to, go back and like be an idiot basically. But you also don't want to close yourself off entirely. You've got to find the balance. How can you give and receive in balance? How can you give and receive in balance like, the king, the empress, and the emperor? Divine feminine, divine masculine, divine feminine, divine masculine. How are you going to do this? You got to figure it out. And everybody's going to have a little bit different stuff. Like, it's not going to be the exact same thing for everybody. But as long as you're not giving more than you're receiving, and they're not taking, from you in a way that's detrimental to you, then you should be good. But you also want to receive and give in the way that's appropriate for you. Somebody sent me a message and was like asking me like, how about like if I'm in my masculine energy most of the time and I feel like my masculine may be in his feminine energy? If you have that type of dynamic going on, you might need to figure out how are we going to give and receive from each other in a way that doesn't like cause problems. Because masculines pursue, protect, provide. Feminines receive. They're receptive. They're nurturing. They kind of just receive. They are like, you think of a plug and an outlet, okay? Like, she's the outlet. He's the plug. He's supposed to plug into her and like fire her up and give to her and give her some freaking seeds, and she makes the baby inside of her, and then she pushes it out and like nurtures it, takes care of it, while he goes and does all that other shit. Like, think about how that is and how you would have to flip the role, or how you can flip the role. And we live in a weird society world now where it's like everything is a little mixed anyways. Like, we've got people who don't identify with the sex that they are, and we have people who don't want to be with the sex that they traditionally would be with. Like, I just saw someone the other day that came out as bisexual, and like, I've been able to go with men or women. I don't care. Like, I don't have anything against anybody. I don't care if you're a man or a woman, or if you look like a girl and you are a guy. I don't care if you want to change your sex. I don't care, whatever. Like, I'm okay with whatever anybody does. Whatever you do, I don't care what you do. I think women are much more attractive than men, just in general. Like, they're prettier, like, softer, most of the time. I mean, there's some men out there that are more pretty than ladies. It depends on the dude. But I don't know. Like, I think we're living in a world now where we're starting to see like that this shit doesn't matter. The physical is just such a fucking shit show. I don't like this world because it's like If you don't look a certain way, you don't get to be on the magazine, or you don't get to be the one that gets to get seen, or, it's like, whatever. Like, I know I'm very grateful that I'm attractive. Like, I know I'm not an ugly person, but I also don't like it sometimes, because I feel like sometimes people, like, just judge me instantly, or they don't want to come near me instantly, because they, like, have, like, a thing instantly go off on them, like, oh, she's stupid, or she doesn't know what she's talking about, because, like, God forbid, she looks like that. It's either a good thing for you and can help you, or it's a bad thing, and it can be like, oh, jealousy, resentment, you're an automatic moron. Like, my sister falls into that thing with herself, like, she, like, labels herself stupid. And I'm like, no, you're not stupid. You don't have to be stupid. You don't have to be, like, no. You don't need to, like, so many women want to use their, like, body or their looks or their sexual stuff to get ahead. You don't need that. You don't need to do any of that to get ahead. You can use your fucking brain and do it. You don't even have to be seen to get ahead. There's tons of, like, you could become a YouTuber. There's a lot of YouTubers out there. You don't ever see the fucking YouTuber. Like, you could do whatever you need to do in any way that you want to do it. But people don't see that because they get caught up in these physical, material bodies. And it's not what you need to do. When you leave here, when you ascend, you go into the 5th dimension, or you go up and higher, it's not physical, like, bodies. It's like, and if there is bodies, it's like they're all fucking the same. You know what I mean? It's like everybody's like, there's not, like, a whole bunch of difference. Like, we don't see it, okay? It's like we don't see these differences. And you shouldn't be seeing it. You shouldn't be seeing these differences. You shouldn't look at somebody and judge them by the way that they look. You shouldn't be judging people brain-wise by the way that they look. Like, people look at somebody, oh, he's a dork, he must be smart. Like, he could be a moron. Who cares if he's wearing glasses? Like, he could be dumb. Like, you don't know, but you're just assuming based off of how he looks. And then there's people who do the same thing with men and how they are, like, if they're not strong, like, looking, you might assume that they can't do something, but they probably can. We need to stop being in that type of energy. I don't know why I'm in such over here land, like, how this got here, but I think it is kind of something that we're starting to maybe ascend through, and to realize, like, those things don't matter. Like, it really shouldn't fucking matter. If you're somebody, maybe you're somebody that they're not normally the type that they would go with. Maybe you guys are opposites. Maybe your person's, like, very, like, all about looks and, like, stronger or whatever, and you could be the opposite. You could be, maybe whatever. I hate saying certain things because I don't want to, like, categorize people or put people into a position of, like, taking on a label that they shouldn't be taking on. Whatever your label is, however you show up, whatever you look like, your age, all that stuff, it doesn't fucking matter. And I think that's what these things are here to teach us. But we need to start giving and receiving in the way that makes sense, in balance for our situations. Don't look at the outside and be like, oh, he's got the dick, he might as well be the one pursuing me and protecting me and providing me. If he doesn't pursue, protect, provide, he never does it. He never do it, ever. And you can, then try it in the way that feels appropriate, however you feel good, however you feel like you should be. Like, if you are comfortable in your masculine energy, always, all the time, that's all you want to be, okay, be it. And just be it, become it, embody it. Don't block it. Just see what happens as a result of it. Just try it out. Be like, I'm gonna be masculine, and, like, don't think about it as, like, I'm like, start to be weird. Just do what feels good to do. And if doing that good thing feels good and it, like, attracts somebody to you, then okay, I'm just going to keep doing more of this because this seems to work. But you can't force yourself to be feminine if you're not feminine, and you can't force yourself to be masculine if you're not masculine, and you shouldn't try to change yourself unless you are not happy with who you are in this moment. Like, if who you are in this moment is not working for you, or it's just like, you've only been who you are in this moment because you thought by being who you are in this moment was going to get you your person, well, that's not what we want to do. Like, these journeys are supposed to make people want to be a better version of themselves. You're supposed to naturally evolve, naturally grow, naturally heal. And I can look back over my life and see that I have progressed and grown. You know, like, I've changed a lot of stuff. I've accomplished a lot of things. I've gotten to a better place. I've had times where I went backwards. I've had times where, you know, things weren't great, and all the things in between. And I'm struggling really badly right now, but I'm still not giving up. And I think that's the biggest part of what all of this is, of like being that type of version of us, is we don't give up, even when it gets hard, even when it doesn't look good, even when it fucking sucks, even when it hurts, even when it's like, oh my god, I just want to die. We can't. We gotta keep going. And when we keep going and we, like, you know, are dedicated to that, usually we end up here, just out of the result of doing it, you know, just by showing up and consistently going through the pain and consistently being who we are supposed to be, without giving away like a false version of us. Like, don't pretend, actually be who you are supposed to be. Don't do what I'm doing just because I'm doing it. Do what you want to do. Do who you want to be. Who do you want to be? You know, set your intention. And think about what you desire. Set your sights high. Expect the best possible outcome. What is the best possible outcome to you? Not me, to you. What does that like look like, taste like, smell like, feel like? How does this sit in your mind? Like, how do you envision this? Like, do you want to be her, or do you want to be him? You know, or do you want to be her with his abilities? You know, or do you want to be him? Who do you want to be? How do you want to show up? Or do you want to be her? You know, like, how do you want to embody your energy? Embody it, become it, exude it, and ripple it out, and then be open without expectation. You know, be the fool. Just jump in, just do it. Don't fucking think about it, just do it. And then when you're rippling that out, naturally things will come to you. And whatever comes to you will be a result of what you're rippling out. And then you get to decide, is that in balance with me? Is that in my integrity? Is that something I want to receive from? Is that going to give back to me in an equal way? Because if it's not, then I'm not going to give to it. If it's not valuable, if it's not equal, if it's not good, then I'm going to say, screw you, get the hell away from me. But if it's good, and it's balanced, and it makes sense to what you're rippling out, and you like it, and it feels good to you, and it, you know, whatever, then you take it. So you know, don't let other people tell you how to be. Don't let other people tell you what to do. I tell people a lot of stuff, like I give advice based off of like my own experiences, because it's like that's just how most people are. You know, like that's why most people will go to a reader, because they resonate with that reader, because that reader is on a similar frequency as them, or dealing with something common to what they're dealing with. Like, oh, she gets it, or like, I agree with that perspective. Like, if I was saying all these other things, or doing all these different things, or you know, on a different frequency, a lot of the people who are here would not be here. They'd be like, screw her, she's stupid, she don't know what she's talking about. It just doesn't matter who I am or how I am. What I'm doing is what's attracting people to me by what I do. And as I shift and as I change, I usually will shift and change the people around me. I've never stayed in a one like thing for too long. Like, people stay with me, or like evolve with me, or grow with me. Some people come closer, go further away over time. Like, I've even had people comment like, yeah, I left for like 6 months, but now I'm back. You know, like, they leave and they come and they go. I don't care. Just whoever is supposed to get the messages gets the messages, and then they do those messages what they want. But don't ever go listen to somebody else's advice unless it fits for you. Because one of I got a email, basically was like, I'm doing a monthly thing now, like a monthly newsletter, and in the newsletter people can ask questions. Like, if you've got a certain question that is like something you want to have answered, I was doing that to, like, you know, help people out. Like, if you get your thing answered in the newsletter once in a while. But the person sent me a long message about this whole masculine feminine thing, and feeling like they don't really resonate as the feminine, and that they're wondering if they're like, how do I figure out, you know, who's really the masculine, who's really the feminine? So I'm gonna try to like maybe do a separate video on that, and like figure out how people can figure that out. And then I can't remember what the other question was exactly worded, but basically there was 2 questions, and it was about this stuff, and it was like, how do I, you know, figure this out, and what do I do? if I'm the masculine. Because, like, obviously if I'm the masculine and he's the feminine, sitting around waiting for him to come isn't going to do much good. But how is she going to go pursue, protect, provide, and how is he going to be receptive, receiving, and all of that? But we also don't want to, like, cause issues if that's not the case. So we want to figure out what is the case, right? I think a lot of people are going to know, and I think sometimes it may change. I've seen other people, because we all have feminine and masculine in us. I've seen other people, like, back years ago when I first started finding that there was, people out here doing twin flame readings. There was a lot of women readers, and, like, just women in general that were dealing with that at that time. So maybe it's just a cycle, like we just said something about this 3.5-year cycle thing starting. Maybe there's a cycle where, like, things kind of shift. It's not to say that they become, like, to whatever, but maybe there's a shifting that occurs within these connections. Like one of you guys is like the leader at one point, or one of you guys is more about pursuing at one point, and one of you is more about receiving at one point, and then vice versa. Because if there's a divine connection should be teaching the collective about getting rid of, like, those stigmas. Like, you shouldn't have to be a certain way. Like, if you want to be bisexual, that's okay. If you want to be a guy, you can be a guy. If you want to be whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like, we should be inclusive and accepting of all, and realize that we do have both, because we separate so many things, and we cause separation and illusion and, like, stigmas everywhere based off of sex and stuff. It's like, oh, she's a lady, she can't have rules, she can't have this, she can't have that, she can't do this, she can't do that, she'll be bad at it. And if you're a guy, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to. So they could be paving the way of realizing, like, it doesn't matter, or you don't have to embody only that, So maybe you're in a relationship with somebody on your divine connection where you're supposed to switch things up. I don't know. I mean, the dude that I'd connected with is pretty fucking masculine. And whenever I see them, they're masculine, 100% masculine, and I don't ever feel, like, not feminine when I'm near them, because I'm just like, I turn into, like, a 14-year-old girl. I turn into, like, an idiot, basically. I can't function. But I've been trying to not do that, because I don't want to turn into the 14-year-old idiot. I would like to be able to just be normal. But some people, may have a different experience when they're with their person. Maybe when you get near your person, they turn you into more of a man, maybe you become more powerful, maybe you feel more confident, maybe you pursue them, and you make the moves, and you lead the thing. I don't do that. I can't do that. When I was in my chaser energy, I chased, but it wasn't the same thing as being masculine. I don't feel like I was being a masculine. I think I was more so being, like, an idiot, basically. I was just being stupid, and anxious, and, like, I had no patience, and I was like, I don't know, I was just stupid, really, honestly, I was just stupid. But however you feel comfortable, because, like, obviously I wasn't comfortable in that energy that I was in when I was like chasing and feeling stressed. Like, my stomach was constantly like feeling like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. My sister drove me there one day. I had to have her pull over because I was, like, having like a heart attack. It was like, pull over, because I couldn't control the speed of how fast I was getting there, and I couldn't control anything. Like, it was bad. But that's also a codependent thing. No, what is that? It's a people pleaser thing, but codependent people usually are people pleasers. But we like to control things around us, or we control people around us when we've been through trauma. Because if we can control the circumstances around us, or we can control what's happening around us, then we, can help to protect ourselves from being traumatized again, or having someone hurt us again. So that's something else in my own personal healing journey I've had to look at and be like, where am I trying to control things? Where am I trying to make things happen when they're not supposed to? Where am I trying to, force something that shouldn't be done? Or where am I pushing a person where I shouldn't be pushing them? And, like, I look at, like, my situation with my sister. Like, I see her do a lot of things, and her believe a lot of things, and her fucking just want to punch her in the face a couple of times to wake her up things. But it's my fault. I know it's not my fault, but it is at the same time, because I'm like, if I didn't do the stupid shit that I did, if I didn't stay in the horrible relationships that I stayed in, if she didn't see me go through those things, she wouldn't be doing it right now. Because she's doing exactly like what I've done. And I'm like, just leave. And she's like, I can't. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm like, come live here. Come live here. I can live here. Just come live here. Like, just do something. But I know for a fact that her seeing stuff that I've done has made her become some of the ways that she's become. And also things that my mom did made her the way she is. But now I'm like constantly like trying to like bring little like perspectives to her without causing big waves, or do it in a way that's like gonna make a problem for her or make her like be bad on herself, because she's got a daughter and I don't want her to be messed up, and she's definitely like not in good circumstances, and it's like she's already past that 18-month part where everything is like influenced. So I'm like, we gotta get her out and we gotta fix this shit so it doesn't continue again. But that's all of us have stuff. All of us here have a reason. We have a purpose. And I feel like we need to figure out like our own things. Like, what are we doing? Where are we giving ourselves away? What do we need to be responsible for? Like, I know in reality, like what's going on there, I can't control that. I can't make any of that stuff change. I would love to be able to fix it, but I can't. It bothers me, but I can't let it be like I don't want to take it to the point where it like destroys me inside either, because it's like she's making her decisions as a mom, she's making her decisions as a woman, she's making her decisions in her own life. Like I can only offer her support, and you know, I give her tools like, hey, you can use this, you can do that, you can do this, you can fucking get the fucker out. But we have to let people do what they're gonna do, be who they're gonna become, and just try to lead by example as best as we can, and not like become, you know, like we don't want to like kill ourselves over what we've already done either. You know, we got to forgive ourselves, because you know what, I was an idiot, I did stupid stuff, and I stayed in bad situations, and I was with people I shouldn't have been with, but not all of that was my own fault. You know, it's like some of it was because I was dealing with those people, and because I had parents that were the parents that I had. But I'm not going to be a victim of it, and I'm not going to stay in that place of like, oh God, you know, I gotta forgive it, move it on from it, heal it, and embody that Empress energy, and know that I can have an emperor in my life. I can have a solid, stable person in my world. And maybe by doing that for myself, it will be enough of a like push for other people in my family to see that and be like, you know what, I can have that too, you know. And it passes on, because a lot of the stuff that we do is ancestral. It comes from our parents, and it goes into us, and then it goes to our siblings and our nieces and our own children, and it repeats until somebody breaks it, until somebody wakes up and says, no, we're gonna stop this, like we can't keep this going on because it's not good. So you may have that going on in your circumstances where you're supposed to break the cycle and break the chain of something, you know, like that, ancestral, you know, dynamics of like how people are within romance. Or you could be somebody that is supposed to break the cycle and the stigmas and the things around masculine and feminine roles of like who's supposed to be what and who's supposed to do whatever. Or you could just be somebody that's supposed to become this. However that may be, however you're going to get there, what thing do you need to overcome? Is it physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever the fuck it is, whatever issues you've had, that's going to get you here. And by getting there and being committed and stable and like loyal to that evolution, and cutting the things out of your life that need to be cut out so that that can happen and you can have justice, the justice will be that somebody will come and mirror this to you, and it will most likely be the person that you're meant to be with, your divine masculine. So it's going to be specific to everybody. Everybody's going to have their own thing that they do, how they get there, what they overcome, and you know, what they allow in their lives. You know, I'm never going to allow somebody to do what they've been through before again. I know that. But now the problem is letting this down, is letting anybody in whatsoever, because I'm like, like, I don't even leave my house. Like, I don't go nowhere. Nobody sees me. I don't have friends. I don't have, like, you know, anything other than the dogs. And sometimes I want to give the dogs away because they piss me off, and I'd rather be by myself so that I can get stuff done. But I'm doing that as, like, a scapegoat. I'm like, I'm going to go work and work to ignore and suppress
everything else around me. Let me just keep doing this and doing that and doing all these other things, so I don't have to acknowledge the pain, or I don't have to acknowledge like these big bad things that have happened. You know, like processing my mother's death, processing my sister's death. Like these things have happened in a very short time. I left a house from a toxic 10-year abusive relationship. Mom dies, sister dies. Like, it's like, it was like, oh, there's a lot of shit going on. And then COVID hits, and it's like, there's just constantly these things being thrown at us. But we have to, you know, be aware. Being aware is the best thing that you can be. Just be aware of your problems. Be aware that you've got shit. If you grew up in a weird circumstances, you've got shit. If you grew up and you went in bad relationships, you've got shit. If your ancestors had stuff, even if you didn't know them, you've got shit. If you are dealing with one of these circumstances as a twin flame, then you've got shit. You know, like, you've got shit to heal. You've got stuff to look at. You've got to get honest with yourself. Have that focused intention. Set your sights high. And then you are safe. Angels stand close. Surrender your concerns and allow a miracle to occur. So I'm not saying that you've got to like focus on those things and be like, oh my God, like, and be worried to the point of like, you know, not doing anything or blocking yourself from having fun. But you want to, you know, have that be that call to action of taking charge and leading by example. Walk your talk. You know, like, I am constantly giving advice, constantly telling and helping and supporting, and everybody wants that. They're like, oh yeah, do the reading, oh my God. They like that. But I need to also do what I say, because sometimes I'm like, remember, even just with my work, my business, like, there's so many things I know that I should do that I don't do. And if I did those things, I would be like way further ahead. But I'm like, yeah, fuck it, it's just me. Like, that comes from an in-value on myself. Like, I'm not valuing myself enough to do those things to have the better situation. I'm like, I'm okay with this mediocre situation because I don't deserve the better situation. Those are things that we need to keep working on, and leading by example, taking that energy. And we have shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. So it's like, we know, a lot of us know what's gone wrong or is wrong or what we should do or what we shouldn't do. But we've got to be the one that like looks at it, illuminates it, and does something about it. We can't just be like, oh, all right, I'm going to know about it and do nothing. And then expect that my divine masculine is going to come back tomorrow. He's going to give me a valuable offer. And we're going to tra-la-la into the 10 of Pentacles. No, you got to get your shit right. You got to get everything going good. Intervention and purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. We need to be happy. That's all I've ever wanted. Even when I was a little kid, because I wasn't happy. I was always sad, miserable, depressed. So it was like, people would ask, what do you want to do when you grow up? I'm like, be happy. That's all I wanted, is to be happy. And that's why we're here, is to be happy. But to be happy, we got to change some things. We got to heal some stuff. We got to go through the shit and fix it. And then this says your third eye is open. See truth for what it is and follow your intuition. And in some instances, it's not always going to be easy. Sometimes we're going to have to see a truth that we don't want to see. We're going to have to see, like, oh, you know what? Like, I played a big role in this, or I am a freaking moron for doing that. But guess what? I get to decide today that I'm not going to play that game anymore. I'm not going to be that person anymore. I'm not going to stay in the cycle, or I'm not going to continue down this path with this person that's not going to be changing or doing or evolving or growing or healing, who can't do those things. And I was silly forever thinking that they would, you know. That's for some of us in some situations. In others, it could just be like, see the truth for what it is, that like maybe your person can heal, can change, can grow, can bring you justice. Maybe you feel like they can't, you know what I mean? Like, you could be like, I don't think they're ever going to do this, they're never going to do that, and the more you believe that and think that and speak it, the more you're going to see that, even if they are changing, even if they're evolving and becoming a better version of themselves, you won't see it if you're not expecting them to do that. If you can continuously think that they're just going to be bad, that they can't ever evolve, you know, or that, like, whatever, like, you've been jaded to the point where it's like, I'm just going to sit over here with my sword, you may want to try to look at that too and make sure you're not sabotaging your own happiness with the person. Because if you're still here, then you probably still care. You still want to, you know, you want them to do that, but maybe you don't believe that they can. You need to shift that belief and realize that anybody can do anything at any time. And then we have Joan of Arc with the voice of truth, and this is stand strong, focus on your purpose, release the fear of persecution, and speak your truth. So this is important, and I struggle with this because there's so many times that I'm like, I'm not going to post this video, or I don't post a video, or I block, like I get rid of it, I delete things, or I don't say what I want to say. You know what I mean? We need to not worry so much about that, because if we're really gonna attract the right people into our lives, people who we want to work with, people who we want to support us and surround ourselves with, we need to speak our truth and do what we're guided to do the way we're guided to do it. If you're a divine feminine that feels like you don't want to be a divine, like you feel more masculine, then be the masculine and see what comes as a result of that. Maybe that's the one thing that's blocking you from your expansion and your happiness and your abundance and all of the rest of the stuff coming together. Always just do what feels right to you. And we have Cosmic Gateway. Your thoughts are magical, magnetic, and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. So this is again, the gateway we just had open, where everything that we think, everything that we feel, everything that we ripple out, has that potential to come quickly. So be mindful of those thoughts that you have, because if you think those, like I'm saying, if you're thinking they can't change, they're never going to change, they're never going to make things right, they're never going to apologize, they don't care about me, they hate me, they're just using me, or they are using me, they use me, they don't love me, all that bullshit, that's what you're going to see. And then we have major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. So there is a lot of stuff I feel right now that is shifting. I feel like we're going into a whole new chapter. I know I am. I know I'm changing. I'm changing everything, about my focus, my drive, my ambition, what I want to do, how I want to do it, things I can't do anymore, things I won't do anymore. You know what I mean? All of that stuff is changing. So just allow yourself to change. Maybe it's time for you to change, go into a whole new direction with whatever you want to do. Make it be a fear-free thing. Don't be fearful, be the fool. Supreme protection, you are protected, cords are being cut, move beyond limitation, and trust. So just trust that you're good. Archangel Michael's there cutting the cords, you got support, you got people helping you, you got the wisdom around, you've got life experiences, you've got the divine side, you're part of the light, you're part of that team of energy that's going to continue to evolve. And then we have the Teacher Awakens with Mary. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. I keep getting this card, and I am working on bringing forward more stuff. I'm finishing up Alcyon Light Healing, but the next things that are coming are going to be more centered, it's a smaller scale. It's not going to be let's do this for a year. It's going to be smaller, digestible courses, but they're going to be very specific. If you want to become somebody, if you want to learn how to make your own decks, teach you how to make your own decks in a course. If you're somebody that wants to do tarot, I'm going to teach you how to do tarot in a small course. There's going to be some that are really bite-sized ones, $20 or whatever, all the way up to bigger ones that are more in depth. That would be the master class of all things, because I know a lot of different things. I know how to grow on Instagram and on Facebook and on freaking YouTube and on TikTok. It's so I'm gonna make separate ones that if you want to utilize one of those ones, you utilize one of those. Or if you want all of that information, because once it's all done, I can take it all, put it into a master thing where it's here's your master class of all of that. So then it would be a little bit bigger of a ticket, but then you have everything you need to know to work in all of those places and create multiple streams of income. Which is again, maybe something will be like that. How do you make multiple streams of income as a spiritual healer? Or how do you do this? Meditation class, manifesting class. There's going to be a lot of different things. It's going to obviously take a while for them to all come out, but that's the next stage of things. Teaching people what I know more in depth so that they can apply it and they can take it at their own pace, and it's going to be available on a platform where you just go and you get it. It's not going to be a video that you watch with a link, because that's caused, if I did it right from the start, I would have done a lot better. Which is, again, it's going to be it's always going to be do what I say, not what I do, because I always do stuff half-ass for me, but I teach and tell everybody else how to do it the right way. So probably going to take the Moon Egg Heat off of like the YouTube way and put it into an actual course way. And then Alcyon Light Healing will probably stay as it is, but I'm going to do a different version of it that's not so crazy the way that it is right now, because there's like 100 videos for that. But you may have something inside of you to teach people. You may have something inside of you that's like awakening at this time that you will eventually teach people. Or you may be like, you know what, like I want to become this, I want to become that. So you may need to teach yourself. I taught myself everything. I taught myself how to do it all for free. I didn't go pay for ads. I didn't go do this crazy shit that people do. I didn't employ the crazy marketing tactics. I did it on my own way, in my own way, and I got there very quickly compared to a lot of people with a lot of different things that they do. It's like when you're authentic and when you are divinely guided and you are supported by the universe and you trust and you believe and you do what you need to do or what you're supposed to be doing, you get, blessings. But when you start to like go against that or go off of your integrity or go against the grain of what's coming through for you from spirit, you will lose things. I know right now, like I need to shift. I know it's not in my integrity anymore to like sit here doing pick a card, so I won't do them. But I need to like, continue to navigate to the next part, to the next part, to the next part. And then we had Cernunnos, life force, express your driving passion, sensual and sexual powers are increased. He's been here at my house for a couple of weeks now. He dropped a horn off and then brought some ghost plants. And the ghost plants aren't even from this freaking area. Like they're not even supposed to grow where we are, but they're growing here, and there's like hundreds of them, and they look weird. They're like these little plants that are like, they have like a droopy head, and they're all white, and if you touch them they disappear and like melt into the ground. They're actually more like a mushroom than a flower. It's like fungus or whatever, but they're called ghost plants or something, like ghost pipe. And I don't know why they're here, but they're here. Like, I'm pretty sure he brought them because the horn came that looks very much like this. And then the next week, my dad was like telling me, he showed me a picture of these ghost plants. And as soon as he did, for some reason, the horn came to mind, and I was like, the horn's magic. And when I went to look it up, the plant, he was there, and it was like Cernunnos, the horned goat or the horned god. And I'm like, what the hell? And I had just been talking about him in a live before that because I was talking about St. Bridget's twin flame is him. And I was like, I don't understand why she's with this like horned god dude, but she is. That's St. Bridget's twin flame, according to this deck in the book. And yeah, so he's been showing up a lot. He's been popping around in my mind, in my head, in my energy field, bringing horns, bringing ghost plants. And I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do with those ghost plants, but there's like 100 of them out there. And they're creepy. And now I get scared at night when I'm here. Like if I go downstairs by myself, I'm like, something's gonna get me. Because my sister the other day, she doesn't see anything. She's not like, she's definitely intuitive, but she's not like to the level that I am with that stuff. She came out of the bathroom and saw a lady in a white fucking dress, like down in my kitchen area. And I'm like, oh my God. Like I know there's a dude that lives here that's down there that I see or hear, or the dogs like, freak out because they see him. But I didn't know there was a lady. I don't like when there's ladies around. The lady ones freak me out for some reason. I'm okay with the dudes. I'm okay with the aliens. I'm okay with a lot of stuff. Like Cernunnos, like he's alright. But like ladies freak me the hell out. Especially when they're wearing a white dress. I'm like, what is she doing? Why? Like, I just start thinking of like that scary movies with the ladies that they're always wet. And they're always like, ugh. I don't know. I don't like it. Freaks me out. I don't want to even talk about it. So, yeah. Hopefully that assisted you guys. Thank you very much. In Renee, namaste.